Right now, a man is in custody after leading police on a high-speed chase in Monona with a dramatic end of the pursuit caught on camera. Also, Frozen Fest is underway in Sun Prairie, but it's not exactly frozen. We'll tell you what's on offer. And later, a pro-abortion group assembled in downtown Madison. What it is they're calling for. That's all coming up at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Well, the warmer temperatures that have affected the Frozen Fest at Sun Prairie seem to be here to stay. With that, let's head straight over to meteorologist Jacob Montesano, who's out on the patio and has your first one forecast. Jacob, how's it feeling out there?
You know, it's not too bad. Obviously, it is a little bit cold, but still above average for this time of the year. Now, the bigger story this weekend has been the fog. And let's take a look at the Capitol building. This is our camera facing the Capitol building. You can't really see it at all. Now, this is mostly due to low-level clouds rather than straight fog. Fog isn't that bad, at least across Dane County, but still seeing some lower visibilities. Right now, we're seeing a temperature of 34 degrees. There's a very light mist across our area, but it's so light that it's not even showing up on the radar. Now, here's a look at the current visibility, down to a half mile right now in Madison. It's also pretty, the fog's pretty dense to the south and east of Madison, and there is a dense fog advisory in effect for those areas until midnight. This is Green, Rock, Dodge, and Jefferson counties. Now, as we look at the current radar, as I mentioned, despite it being a little bit, there's a little light rain across our area, we're not seeing that pull up on radar. So we may continue to see some sprinkles throughout the night, but we're not going to see anything heavy. The bigger story will be the fog, but other than the fog, we're not really going to see a lot of active weather going forward. All the full details on your forecast for next week coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. A 31-year-old man is in custody after Monona police chase ended in a crash early this morning. Police say they were working on a special operation related to issues at an address in Monona. They tried to stop a car for speeding and displaying a fake registration that linked it to that address. The car led them on a chase onto the eastbound Beltline toward I-90 before it ran off the road into an embankment. The driver was checked out at a local hospital before being booked into the Dane County Jail. Police say they found a handgun in the car. We have new video into our newsroom tonight of the moment that car nearly hit another driver and then crashed. Braden Ross spoke with the driver that captured this whole situation on their dash cam.
Yeah, this is that video you're talking about here. Now let's take it full screen so you can see what's actually going on. This is rear dash cam footage from a bystander's car. You can see the car being chased pull up right behind her going very fast. And if you watch the left side of your screen, you can see the car hit the guardrail and actually go airborne into that embankment. Let's watch that again and I'll let you hear this all from the driver of that car herself.
I see our headlights barreling at me from behind. It's foggy, it's slippery and wet out. I don't know what this idiot's problem is. I had no clue he was being pursued. It was happened so quickly and your reaction time is like zero in that moment. And I just prayed that the guy that was in the lane next to me could see what was going on.
Now, I spoke with that driver earlier today. She asked to remain anonymous, but told me the whole event was very scary. This chase actually comes as Monona police are facing increasing scrutiny for their pursuit policy after a New Year's Day chase ended in a crash that killed 3 people. Following that crash, Monona police announced they'd be stepping back their pursuit efforts to focus only on people believed to have committed a violent felony. But just weeks later, the city council voted to reverse that decision and keep the policy as is. Right now, that policy leaves the decision of whether to chase up to each individual officer's discretion. This latest chase also comes as I'm wrapping up an investigation on chase policy across different departments in our area. You can catch that coming up this Thursday at 10.
All right, Braden, we'll see you then. A vehicle that struck a person on the Beltline last night before fleeing the scene has been located today. Last night, Madison police officers were called to the Beltline in the eastbound direction near Fish Hatchery Road and reported a person was struck by a vehicle. That individual later died. The vehicle involved fled the scene, headed southbound on Fish Hatchery Road. The assistance of a citizen is what led to the vehicle being found this afternoon. The investigation is ongoing. Sun Prairie's Frozen Fest has officially started, but not without a hitch. The culprit, warmer weather. It was supposed to start with the candlelit snowshoe and hike, which was canceled due to the weather. Regardless of the conditions, there was still fun to be had.
They're all family-friendly events. Besides tomorrow's pancake breakfast, the rest of the events next week are all free of charge and indoors.
Frozen Fest runs through February 2nd. with different events planned for every day, no matter the weather. These include bingo, cornhole, and eating delicious s'mores around the campfire. There will even be human-sized Connect 4. More information can be found at www.cityofsunprairie.com. The warmer weather is making outdoors a bit more bearable. And as such, some folks got out to enjoy the Wisconsin nature today. Local birder Hyam Garner led the visitors on a guided tour where they went for a walk through the Pheasant Branch Conservatory in Middleton. They were taught how to identify types of plants without their leafy cover-up.
It's so much warmer today than it's been. It's 45 degrees warmer than it was. So I want to get out and be in nature.
The guided tour is held every fourth Saturday for free, and you don't even have to register. The events are co-sponsored by the Badgerland Bird Alliance and the Friends of Pheasant Branch organization. The two remaining GOP primary candidates are out on the trail this weekend, as is President Trump, who is already looking ahead to the general election. Nikki Haley is in South Carolina looking to salvage her long-shot bid to the presidency. CBS's Cristiano Benavides reports.
From the courtroom to back on the trail, former President Donald Trump hosting a rally in Nevada Saturday after he was in a Manhattan courtroom Friday, ordered by a jury to pay writer E. Jean Carroll more than $80 million over making defamatory statements.
We will immediately appeal. We will set aside that ridiculous jury.
It's a preview of Trump juggling his legal challenges and political ones.
This November, we're going to win the swing state of Nevada. You ever think of it as a swing state?
All this as the debate over the border heats up. President Biden is looking to salvage an immigration deal in Congress, speaking in South Carolina. This banner flying in Vegas today, where Democrats are looking ahead to 2024. Vice President Kamala Harris is there. Nikki Haley, meantime, is in her home state of South Carolina. The GOP primary there is still about a month away. It's a long-shot bid for Haley, who is trailing in the polls. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
Former President Trump will take all the delegates in Nevada. The state is set to hold both a primary and caucuses. Haley is on the primary ballot while the former president is on one for the caucuses. The GOP has said only the caucuses count for awarding delegates. And on the topic of the southern border, President Biden says he's willing to accept tougher measures to secure the U.S. border with Mexico. His remarks come after House Speaker Mike Johnson warned on Friday the emerging border deal in the Senate is dead on arrival in the House. Mr. Biden told House Republicans securing the border would be a win for America. Some of the proposals would give the Department of Homeland Security new authority to close the border if daily migrant crossings reach 4,000 over 1 week span. Former President Donald Trump has urged House Republicans to reject any border deals, saying his party should avoid giving President Biden a political victory in an election year. Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, the first such day since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. During a gathering in Bosnia to observe the day, the General Counsel Emeritus of the World Jewish Congress condemned Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th. He also said, quote, that anyone with a heart must have compassion for the suffering of the Palestinian civilians.
We cannot be indifferent to the death and displacement endured by Palestinian civilians in Gaza over the course of these same more than 3.5 months.
Between both Israel and the Gaza Strip, over 27,000 civilians have been killed as a result of the war, with over 70,000 wounded. Italy and Australia have now temporarily paused funding the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. This comes after Israel accused staffers at the principal aid agency inside Gaza of participating in the October 7th terrorist attacks in southern Israel. UNRWA Commissioner General Filippo Lazzarini said he immediately terminated the contracts of the accused workers and is launching an investigation into the matter. The U.S. State Department also now says it will temporarily pause additional funding to the agency while this investigation plays out. Coming up next, what abortion right advocates in Madison today are calling for. Plus, Americans are spending more time on their phones, but how much time per day on average? Find out in this week's On Consumer Report next.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
Earn now, spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days. Now through the end of January, Rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store to redeem later just like cash. Start earning on 40-pound bags of wood fuel pellets, $4.99. Rewards members pay just $4.79. New Blaine's brand washer fluid, $2.49 a gallon for Rewards members. Plus, Chick Days are coming. Order yours in-store or online. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Rewards Members Dollar Days.
The monsters of destruction are coming, and coming with a vengeance. Redneck Rampage against the Grain, War Wizard, Double Trouble, and the Veteran are ready to put on one heck of a show. Plus, Freestyle Motocross is back. X-Games rider Willie Elam and friends with action you don't want to miss. Day and night shows ready to blow your mind. Every ticket is a pit pass. Come early to meet the drivers. Take a ride in a real monster truck. Don't miss the Monsters of Destruction at the Alliant Energy Center February 3rd and 4th. Get your tickets now at monstersofdestruction.com.
Dear all-wheel drive, let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Yours, Toyota all-wheel drive sedans.
Right now, get 4.99% APR for 60 months on a new Toyota RAV4, Corolla, Highlander, Tundra, or Crown. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Pick and Save always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Pick and Save app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
Monday at 6, meet a local veteran giving back to others in the spirit of service.
It's a way of thanking them, but it's way more than that.
We'll learn about the unique bonding trips that help him carry out his mission and the life-changing event that drives him. Monday at 6.
Earlier today, community members and activists joined up at the Ford statue in Madison for a pro-abortion speak-out. Hosted by Madison Abortion and Reproductive Rights Coalition for Healthcare, or MARCH, people spoke out about Roe and why they feel it was never enough.
Roe was the floor, and what we need is something bigger than Roe. Just kind of all-encompassing reproductive rights, reproductive justice.
This event comes just over 4 months after Planned Parenthood's locations in Madison and Milwaukee restarted abortion services following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Americans are becoming more dependent on their smartphones. Christine Lazar has that story and some good news about the economy in this Eye on Consumer report.
A new report shows the economy expanded more than expected at the end of 2023. The Bureau of Economic Analysis says the nation's gross domestic product, or GDP, grew at a 3.3% pace in the fourth quarter. The boost was fueled by increased consumer spending. Bottles of Robitussin Honey CF Max day and nighttime adult cough syrup are being recalled nationwide due to a risk of microbial contamination. The manufacturer says the contamination could lead to deadly infections for at-risk people, though most users are unlikely to experience a serious health problem. The recalled bottles have expiration dates of October, May, and September 2025 and June 2026. And the average American will spend 12 years looking at a smartphone over their lifetime. This according to a new report by Harmony Healthcare IT. The survey found the average person spends 4 hours and 37 minutes on their phone each day. About half admit scrolling on their phones without a purpose, otherwise known as zombie scrolling. And those are some of the week's top consumer stories. I'm Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The first Boeing 737 MAX 9 returned to the skies yesterday, just weeks after a door plug in the fuel switch blew out of an Alaska Airlines flight mid-flight. The flight took off from Seattle and landed in San Diego. No safety or mechanical issues appeared to occur during the flight. The Alaska Airlines chief operating officer sat next to the door plug on Friday's flight and says she has full confidence in the aircraft. The FAA had grounded all MAX 9s in the U.S. following the incident with the door plug. But earlier this week, they cleared the way for the MAX 9 to continue flying after approving a set of inspection criteria the airlines must meet. The warmer temps took a toll in Minnesota, specifically at the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships, which were canceled this weekend due to insufficient ice. You can see how much of the ice would have been there, but now it's just puddles. Last weekend was the competition's opening weekend, and the cold spell made for ideal conditions. The rise in temperature since then, though, has melted away the ice along with it, the competition. And we saw that temperature spike here in Wisconsin as well. With that, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Jacob Montesano.
Thanks, Jalen. Yeah, the temperatures last week were certainly a lot different from the temperatures this week, and the temperatures we're seeing right now, they're going to continue for the most part. If we look at the three things you need to know, we are going to continue to see some fog, but outside of the fog, really not going to see any kind of hazards in the weather department. We'll see mild temperatures and very dry conditions for the foreseeable future. Now, here's a look at the visibility forecast. We are still seeing some fog. We will likely continue to see some foggy conditions during the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow, with visibility down to 1/4 of a mile. Now, as we get into Monday morning, we are likely going to see some more fog, but what this model is showing, I personally feel like this is a bit extreme. I don't think we're going to see visibilities down near zero, but expect the fog to continue into Monday morning as well, possibly even into Tuesday morning, where we could continue to see some visibilities down to 1/4 of a mile at times. So the fog is just going to linger around. It will get better progressively throughout the week. By the end of next week, it shouldn't be as big of an issue. The reason that the fog is occurring is because we have so much snow on the ground, and the melting snow is really causing that. Now, here's a look at the precipitation forecast. Not really going to see anything for Sunday, not really going to see anything for Monday. We are going to see the clouds decrease for Sunday night, but the clouds will increase again for Monday night. Here's our one chance of precipitation next week. We'll see a brief round of possible snow Monday night into Tuesday. Should clear out by Tuesday morning, maybe some lingering flurries, but for the most part, we're going to be dry Tuesday afternoon, and then we're going to see more sunshine by the time we get to Wednesday. And for the rest of next week, we'll just see on and off cloud cover, but not a lot of precipitation expected. Here's a look specifically at the precipitation chances for the next 7 days. We are going to see that chance of snow Monday night, but other than that, will be mainly dry, so not a lot of precipitation going forward. But as we look towards the 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, this is kind of towards the middle of the following week. We may start to see some of that precipitation move back into our area, but still a bit too early to say that for sure. Now, here's a look officially at the forecast for tonight. Cloudy skies, lows will be in the lower 30s. Not going to see the temperatures change all that much, and that's going to be the case for tomorrow. Highs will be in the middle 30s. That typically happens when we have cloudy skies. Maybe a few peaks of sunshine further west towards Prairie du Chien and just in general the western portion of the state. But as we look at the temperature forecast, highs will remain in the middle to upper 30s, possibly lower 40s on Thursday. But it's going to be a very, very calm week of weather. Once this fog completely clears up, which should clear up by at least around Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday, I mean, there's not much going on going forward. We'll have highs in the 30s, possibly lower 40s, partly sunny skies, pretty much no chance of precipitation for the end of next week or the beginning of the following week. And I have to say, we definitely deserve a little bit of a break considering it's been very active the last 2.5 weeks. And all things considered, it's going to be pretty nice considering the time of the year. The snow is going to continue to melt, so that may create some more foggy conditions. But for the most part, you know, pretty quiet. And I'm certainly looking forward to a little bit of a break from, you know, the active weather as someone who has to forecast for it. Sure, so, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, when we have partly sunny, mostly sunny skies, you know, it's just like a temperature change here or there. So, yeah, not much going on. Enjoy the weather if you want.
I know you're looking forward to, you know, a break in all the weather coverage. Yeah. And I know people at home are definitely looking forward to actually being able to go outside. Yeah. You know, today was like before with those, you know, sub-zero temps, and now we're in the 30s. So.
Yeah, today was the first day that me and my fiance who actually took our dog for a walk together.
Really?
Sorry, I should say in like 2 weeks, because
Gotcha.
it's just been too cold, and then the rain just kind of this week has kind of made it gloomy outside. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just nicer weather in general.
I'm with you, and I'm sure everybody else is. Thank you, Jacob. Good news for pregnant women getting the COVID-19 vaccine, and about the health risk associated with sitting at work all day and what can be done about it. Michael George looks back at some of the week's top health stories.
People who mostly sit at work have a higher risk of dying from all causes and a higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who predominantly don't sit. That's according to researchers in Taiwan who followed about 500,000 people over nearly 13 years. The study authors say those who sit at work would need an additional 15 to 30 minutes of physical activity per day to make up the difference. COVID-19 vaccines given to pregnant women do not hurt their babies' neurodevelopment. Researchers with UC San Francisco found babies up to 18 months showed no significant difference in brain development compared to those with unvaccinated mothers. Children were screened for communication, gross motor, fine motor, problem solving, and social skills. And for many years, there was a belief women took longer to recover from concussions than men. But a study of student athletes found when women get the same access to care, they recover at a similar rate. Researchers compared cognitive function, mental health, balance, and reaction time, and found no significant difference between the genders. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
Coming up in sports, the Badgers had big test on the ice tonight. See if the men and women could pull off comebacks on the road. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
There's no telling what the next Wisconsin Lottery scratch game will bring. It's Miss Pac-Man, the new $3 instant scratch game based on the classic arcade game. Scratch each start position in the grid and follow the directions of the symbols. If your path runs into a bonus symbol or ends at a prize spot, you could win up to $30,000. Instant scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery. Odds are you'll like them.
Choose FlexBuy on an Escape or Bronco Sport with 0.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus $1,500 FlexBuy cash. See your Wisconsin Ford dealer.
It's a robotic money expert.
Clever. How do I start a savings habit?
Famous cabbage.
Savings habit.
Shaving rabbits.
Tech can make life simpler, but when it comes to savings habits, nothing's as simple as BMO. A BMO savings account helps you build the habit with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward. Ingenious.
Sardine Fest.
This year's top prize goes to BMO.
I'm just in it for the saving, but it's nice to be recognized.
BMO. We're clearing out the warehouse.
Up to 80% off list or more.
It's Slumberland's big year-end clearance event.
And it's a big deal.
Complete your living space for just $139.
Hundreds of items ready to take home today.
Or ship for free.
Complete your room up to 80% off.
Mattresses, sectionals, recliners, beds, you name it.
Don't miss the big clearance going on now at Slumberland Furniture.
Wisconsin women's hockey has rattled off 9 straight wins, but the Badgers had a tall task today, trying to finish off a sweep of 7th-ranked Minnesota Duluth on the road, and it wasn't looking good early. The Badgers trailed 4-1 heading into the final period, but suddenly the wickets opened. They scored 2 quick goals to set up this. Watch Lacey Eden on the second effort. If you didn't see it that time, that's fine. We'll show it once more. Her second goal of the period ties it up. The Badgers trying to stage an unreal comeback. It would still be tied heading into the final 2 minutes of the game. That is until Kirsten Sims decided to call game. Sims goes top shelf, and the Badgers get the goal to go. Wisconsin scores not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 third-period goals to stun Duluth. Badgers win it 5-4. Meanwhile, the Badger men were in Ann Arbor, and there's no way they could do this too. Well, let's see. Trying to avenge a loss from last night, third period. Wisconsin down 5-4, looking for the equalizer, and there it is. Owen Mellenbacher got it. He takes the perfect pass and tips it in. The Badgers are the best show on ice, men and women. We've got a tie game headed to overtime, and that's where the Badgers capitalize. Christian Fitzgerald wanted to bring a W back home to Madison, and that's how you do it. He walks off the Wolverines. Badgers win yet another thriller. 6-5 is your final. It is officially official. Doc Rivers was named the 18th head coach in Milwaukee Bucks history today. It's a triumphant return for Rivers, who played at Marquette, and now at the Fiserv, when he looks up in the rafters, he'll see his own jersey hanging. Rivers enters his 25th year as a head coach with championship pedigree, winning with the Celtics back in 2008. He now inherits a Bucks team that has the second best record in the East, but Rivers says when you're taking over a team mid-season, it won't all be smooth sailing.
Listen, I've never done this. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I can tell you that just from the day and a half. But it's going to be a challenge. It's a challenge that I'm running towards. Can't try to do too much too soon. We're in the middle of a season, so we got to try to keep our rhythm.
Now, Rivers' first game as head coach will be Monday, but the Bucks had work to do tonight, hosting the Pelicans, and we know Damian Lillard for his three-point shooting, but he can get it done at the rim, too, with the left. That is just silly. A circus shot falls for Dame, and the Bucks take an 18-point lead in the third. Later in the quarter, Milwaukee pulling away at this point, and Bobby Portis, he's not just the mayor of Milwaukee. He is a mid-range magician. Gets the bucket to fall, and the Bucks take a 25-point lead. They go on to win it, 141-117, the final. And earlier in the day at Fiserv, Memorial legend Wes Matthews was inducted into Marquette's M Club, or their Hall of Fame for the university. Matthews is in his 15th NBA season, but the Madison native was lethal back in his days at Marquette. Still ranks top 10 in 5 career categories, including, of course, scoring. And the Wisconsin women got a huge Big Ten win at home today. They outscored Rutgers 22-3 in the first quarter and never looked back. Sarah Williams matched her career high with 31 points and won it 72-63. Now, Jalen, the one thing that we didn't really get to talk about in all of this was how electric Wisconsin men's basketball was yesterday.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we've got so many sports going on, it's hard to squeeze them in, but figured we'd use that time for this real quick. A.J. Storr is showing that he might be the best player in the conference. Yesterday, Tom Izzo said at the press conference that he might be one of the best players he's seen come through the Big Ten, and that, for Tom Izzo to say that, is jaw-dropping. So
the corner store is definitely open.
It's open for business, 24/7, you could say.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Angie. We'll be back with more after this.
Dear Winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota.
Right now, you can get 2.99% APR financing for 60 months on a tough 2023 Toyota Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
You've got this. Your big moment on their big day. The dress? Another one you'll never wear. Gift? Practical. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you get invited to your third destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
It's replacement window season. Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Come on, Michael, come on. Catch the ball! Huddle up! Do you need to get your eyes checked? Well, actually... Here's the play. Stanton Optical makes glasses in 30 minutes. It's easy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy! Hut! Come on, Michael, you got this! Come on, turn! Michael, catch! I can see! You did it! I did it! 30-minute glasses? Now that's an easy play. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Spectrum Mobile brings you our best deal to start the new year. Now you can get unlimited mobile for $15 per line. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line with no added taxes or hidden fees and no contracts. Save over $1,400 for the first year. Call 855-231-7007. Spectrum Mobile includes nationwide 5G and the fastest wireless speeds with unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line. Call 855-231-7007 or visit a Spectrum store near you.
PB and J?
PB before we go.
P before we go.
P before we go.
See you tomorrow?
Yeah.
Donate blankets to our neighbors in need during Recycle the Warmth.
All right, Jacob, final touch of the weather before we get on out.
Yeah, not much going on. We have some fog that will continue into early next week, but most of next week will be in the 30s with partly sunny skies. Time for us to finally enjoy the weather. Going to be a lot calmer going forward.
Definitely looking forward to that. Thank you all for joining us. See you back here tomorrow.